Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a little life update vlog. I keep thinking of things to do and I think questionnaires, they're fun. I've done 2 in a row, so let's do something different. Before I start, I'm just going to say Björn is sitting over here against some pillows and he might cry because he's teething and he's a bit sad today. And we've got a Padfoot who might bark because he's a dog. So let's first of all talk about my hair. Do you remember when I said I wasn't going to dye it for a year? Kind of lied. So I went red, as you probably saw in my last video, and then I did it again to try and make it more auburn, and it just kept looking like brown, and I just didn't like it. I didn't even really like the auburn. I don't know why I did it, because before I went auburn I had blonde hair that I had done at a salon, which you didn't see in videos. Bien, don't do that. So I was like, okay, I really want blue hair. I have wanted blue hair for ages, like proper beautiful blue hair. So I was like, I need to get it really light first. So one of my friends, she dropped off some bleach. She didn't come in the house because, lockdown. And I bleached my hair myself with professional bleach. I did work in a salon, didn't qualify as a hairdresser, but I used this bleach in the salon but it was really good, and she had some, so she dropped it off, and I'm really happy with the result. Like, it's quite brassy, but I really like it, and even though the blue dye has turned up, I've decided not to go blue, or not straight away. So yes, I am very blonde and I am loving it, to be honest. Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to be all blonde as well, but I couldn't afford it and I wasn't brave enough, or I tried with home bleach that you get from shops and that's just crap. So anyway, first update is my hair that I said I wouldn't touch and then I bleached it. So my dog's just farted. He's always farting. Second update, I now have a new job. So where I was working before was a betting shop. I can't remember if I've said it before. I don't really like gambling. I don't really agree with it, but I needed a job, and I'm not so strongly against it that I wouldn't do it as a job. Let's quickly save my child from falling off the bed. Here he is. Oh, no. So yeah, I was working in a gambling shop, which the clientele, some are nice, a lot of them aren't. Oh yes, he's learnt to clap. That's a Björn update. I also hate all sports. I just find them incredibly boring. So I don't like gambling, I don't like sports, and I'm really bad at maths. So I don't really know how I got a job in there, but I did. So I worked there just under a year. So I got there, I think it must have been it's over a year. Anyway, so I worked there, and then I was considering leaving a lot sooner than I wanted to, but then I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, I've got to stay now because a lot of jobs wouldn't employ me if I was pregnant. So then I left on maternity leave, and so everyone I worked with was lovely. Nothing wrong with the people I worked with, all lovely. So I left there officially on March 25th, and I started my new job yesterday, so that was May the 4th. And I'm only working 2 hours in the evening, and I'm a cleaner, which, I don't mind. I like cleaning. It's a job, people look down on it, but it's still a job. And I really enjoy it, so. And it fits perfectly with Björn, because my other job as well, the hours wouldn't have worked for what I wanted. So this is perfect. Husband comes home from work, I go straight to work. Dom does nighttime baby routine, and I miss him at nighttime. So yeah, I started that yesterday, and I do Monday to Friday, so that's good. So that's the second update. Third update, I'll probably talk about mental health a bit, so just to warn you, if you don't find that interesting or if it upsets you, you probably don't want to watch this bit. So shortly after Björn was born, I obviously wasn't getting a lot of sleep, even though Björn is a really good sleeper, but I am very lazy, and I like to sleep a lot. People probably wouldn't know if I died because I'd be like, oh, she's just asleep. So I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, and you get the baby blues like 3 days after you've given birth. I got told this and I thought it was a myth. And then it happened, like all your hormones just drop and you are an absolute mess. You're crying, you don't know why. So that obviously spiraled for me, and then it kept spiraling. It wasn't postnatal depression, it didn't last that long, and like I didn't have like the not connection to Björn and things like that. I was just very down, didn't like my body image, just felt I wasn't very good at stuff. And then like so it starts to like play on my borderline personality disorder, and then I was alright for ages, and then all of a sudden I just got really down again. So I then started having over the phone counselling with a woman who's very lovely, but she speaks like this on the phone. And I'm supposed to be having that every Thursday, but when I registered for it, because obviously no one is doing face-to-face stuff at the moment, sorry Dr. Dummy, no one is doing face-to-face stuff at the moment because of coronavirus. So when I originally went for it, it was months ago, but because NHS is very underfunded and mental health is extremely underfunded, they don't get through to you for months. And so yeah, and then it's all over the phone, and like I feel fine in myself. I feel absolutely fine in myself now. Got a new dummy, it's not the same dummy. So I don't feel like I personally need that. But with lockdown, it is very hard with borderline personality disorder, because nearly always it comes either from trauma or like fear of abandonment. Mine kind of comes from both. As you know, I went through some shit a couple of years ago, and I lost some friends who just kind of abandoned me, or that's how it felt. So I'm very scared of being abandoned. And even though I completely understand that everyone is going through this and no one can come and see me, and like, as you know, I agree with the lockdown, blah, 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 it's just very, very lonely. Like, it's lonely for everyone, but it's extremely lonely for me. I have Björn and I have Padfoot with me all day because my husband's a key worker, so he's still at work. But a baby can't have a conversation with you, and Padfoot just farts for an answer. So it is hard. I'm very lonely. I had a day last week, yeah, and I just cried. Like, I was so lonely, and then my husband had to work the weekend, and I felt like I hadn't seen anyone. And even though I'm FaceTiming and calling people, it's not the same as face-to-face interaction. And I have said before, I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people, so this is really hard, and I'm scared it will trigger the fear of abandonment. And like, sometimes I feel myself gonna spiral down the same awful path I was going down a couple of years ago, where I'll just do stupid things that were reckless, and I'm really scared that will happen again. And so trying to stay busy and focused is really hard when I just want to be surrounded by people who keep my brain busy. Like, you know, like you see your friends and you hang out with them, and you're too busy. Like, for me, I'm like so busy like spending time with that person that my brain stops for a while. You know, because it never used to, but it does now because of quetiapine, which is a medication I'm on. So trying to think like, those people don't want to see you, you know, is not true, but a little bit in your head you're like, but what happens when it's over? What happens if they still don't want to see me? Which I know isn't true, because these people are telling me they're missing me. But mental health for me is very up and down. So it's not as bad as it could be, it's not as good as it could be, but yeah, I still don't, it's hard to explain. I think I'm just lonely. I don't know if it's mental health stuff or just because everyone is feeling this, and like, it's a very depressing world at the moment. You know, everyone's like scared, and you go to the shops and you have to like be 2 meters apart, so like some people don't want to go down the same aisle as you, and a little bit of you's like, oh, do I smell? You know, so it starts to play on paranoia as well. It's, just obviously I want this to be over, but I also understand it's going to take time. So hoping going back to work is really going to help with this. I do work by myself, but it's something because it's like it's cleaning for 2 hours, and it's like full on for 2 hours because you need to get this office cleaned in 2 hours, and it's a big building, so you know I'm busy and I can put music in and I can just phase out. So that will be good. I'm hoping that will, you know, keep my brain from going into the awful spiral it does. Because I've been okay for ages, like, say before the phone therapy, and probably like November, December last year, I could feel myself going bad again. Like, when you've got it, you kind of realise. You don't realise at the time, and then when like you're about to have a low, you're like, oh, I was on a mania. And that's something else that, you know, is weird. Like, you never know if you're happy or if you're about to have a mania. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel. Like, am I just having a great time? Like, am I just woke up happy today? Or am I going to have this weird mania, which feels amazing, and then when the crashing blow comes, it's awful. And also, I can't just get into bed anymore. I can't just shut myself off. I have this little one. Luckily, like, apart from like last year when I felt a bit, I haven't had the mania / lows. The crying, I do think that was just loneliness. So mental health, really, it's okay. It's like, I'll just say it's okay. I'm not going to say it's perfect, because it is just okay. I'm trying to think of anything else. New job, new hair, still mental. Oh, I'll tell you about this house. Oh, so I love the house I live in, but we rent, and I still keep an eye on other houses in the area. And there was one in a really nice area where one of my friends lives, where my best friend lives, and oh, this house was beautiful. It was actually, I think it was probably the same size as what we're in now. We've got a 3-bed house, and this was a 3-bed house. But it was in a lot quieter area, because I think I said before that where I live, like out here, outside the window, outside in the street, is a main walkway for people. So it's very noisy, especially when pubs are open and you get a lot of fights and like people being sick outside your house. It's not very nice. So this was a nice like little cul-de-sac area. Oh, it was lovely. And the house was just fresh looking and beautiful, and I wanted it. And I showed it to Dom, and he was like, yeah, call up about it, which, you know, normally he'd be like, nah, like, I'm happy where I am. But he was like, yeah, call up about it. We can't view it, but we can do a virtual viewing or whatever. So I was so, never dummy. So I was excited, and then I called the landlord, and he was like, yeah, so tell me about yourself. So I'm all like, you know, working, husband's working, blah, blah, got a dog, got a baby, like, never failed to pay rent, we're good tenants, yeah, give me this house, yeah. And then he was like, yeah, the house is already gone. I was like, well, fuck you then. So that's really the only thing interesting that's happened. Apart from my hair, like I said, I just love my hair, and I want everyone to admire my hair. So yeah, that's my life update. Still can't drive. Still poor. Alright, Dudley Does. Did you see how fat he looked then? He was just like, yeah. Bien is still beautiful. He's still perfect in every way possible, and I'm still amazed he's mine. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Goodbye.